Hi there, my fencing enthusiasts. Today we're going to get to the first stance I ever learned for fencing, which is the French stance. You can either start in your preparatory position or just start with feet shoulder width apart and turn the lead foot out to form the right angle. Once you have your feet in line and they're shoulder width apart, you just bend your knees so that both knees are over both toes. It should be deep enough that you have enough spring that you can move easily forward or backward, which is the main advantage of the stance, but also have it so that you're not shifting your weight in either direction. You don't want to shift in this traditionally because you want to have equal forward and backward ability. The main stance with regards to the rear hand in the French form compared to the Italian form is that they would keep the hand at the roughly heart level, in some cases at head level, but I've only seen that a few times. But you keep the hand at the heart level, and when you attack, you thrust back. You thrust it back to give you that extra blading and extra reach with your attack, but otherwise you're protecting your center line, or you're protecting your heart, or protecting your face, depending. And then depending on your lineage, I've seen where it's edge knife hand flat, it's a natural bend of the hand, the fingers are pressed together in various forms, and then in the modern form they would say just let the hand go limp. And letting the hand go limp is to make sure that the arm is not tense. It's actually supposed to be that you learn it with the hand limp and then bring the hand into blade once you can keep the tension out of the arm. So if you keep the hand here and it's dropping like this, that's fine in the beginning, but you eventually want to have a point where you can actively use that hand, and you actively want to thrust the hand back in order to increase your reach and increase your blading. So you can see I have a little bit of blading here. I throw my elbow back, I'm not completely square. This is the blading you want with your general attack, your general thrust, whereas when you lunge, they would say throw the hand back and down, so that you're here and it swings back and hits the leg, whereas with the Italian, it swings out. That's a big distinction between the Italian form. The Italians did also later have that swinging down to hit the leg. I'd say it depends. You follow you. We'll cover that more when we do the lunge, but I want you to know that this beginning hand position is part of the French stance. The French stance itself should have that hand either limp in the beginning or in a ridge hand or hand position at either the solar plexus, or I'd say heart more accurately, or head level, rather than just, drooping at the side. So the French stance is just going to be weight equidistant, ready to move forward or backward. I'd say hold this like a horse stance for maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Just holding this, getting comfortable so that you can sink into it and it's not uncomfortable. Now, this may seem boring to you, and that's okay. This is a very basic stance. If you want, use this, but keep the Italian stance in reserve, that you start here, you then have that Italian stance for that extra reach, or that extra distance, and then you can also start from here and then go into the forward stance for extra reach, extra distance in your attack. So you can just think of that as a midpoint between the Italian and forward stances. So give that some practice, and I will catch you guys next time. Till then, keep your teacups